Sometimes guys get very offended with the videos I make talking about men. And this is what I want to say. I'm just asking for men to be polite and respectful. And in the case of my marriage, I'm just asking, I'm realizing that I was neglected, emotionally neglected, which is a form of abuse. And any man who has a problem with that, I believe, is part of the problem. In my opinion, any man who thinks that it's okay to neglect a woman, withdraw from the relationship, not care about the relationship, not care when she's in pain about the relationship, any man who thinks that's okay is toxic and part of the problem. Ladies, what I'm here to tell you is I spent 25 years of my life, and I'm making this video now because I woke up to this Wednesday during a couples therapy course that I'm taking, that I was married to a man who was blatant. That means he was the one causing the problem in the relationship. He was the blatant. He was withdrawn and neglectful in a very major way for all those 25 years. And I put up with it because I was modeling my mother and my stepmother, who I adore, as it's a woman's job to be pleasing to a man. And since he wasn't abusive and he kept his word and he was a good father and he was a provider, I accepted it that my role was to remain pleasing to him. While I did my own thing, he wasn't controlling or anything. However, I overlooked the emotional neglect. I thought it was okay because my father was that way, but much worse. I thought he was better than my dad. I overlooked it, but I was like, well, I can focus on the investing. I can focus on my real estate business. I can focus on the kids. I can focus on building my home. I can focus on my meditation. Then after 10 years of marriage, I took Vicodin to check out emotionally. It was the only way I could survive in that relationship. And when I quit taking the Vicodin, I was no longer okay with the neglect. That's when my emotional pain started. I was in a lot of pain and occasionally angry, but mostly sad, and he didn't care. I want to say too that never once did he say, Sharzad, I need this from you. Sharzad, please don't do this. He never once complained. He didn't ask for a change. He didn't challenge me. The other years I took the Vicodin, he just withdrew even more. Then when I got closer to him, he got closer, but he was still emotionally neglectful. And sexually, he completely used me as an ejaculation device. Sexually, he used me as an ejaculation device, and I allowed it because I knew my dad used women as an ejaculation device. So I figured that was okay, subconsciously modeling after my mother. So I had all these insights a couple days ago, and that's why I'm talking about this marriage that ended almost 9 years ago. So you might be tired of hearing about it. However, I just had some new insights because I kept blaming myself. I kept saying he's a good guy or whatever. He was obstinate and dug in like a donkey. Like, I'm not going to budge. I'm dug in. I'm digging in my hoofs. I'm not budging. And, I think people do that for a variety of reasons. I think a lot of people are afraid of their emotions or they're not in enough pain. I don't know. I'm not going to make excuses. However, I want to say when I divorced him, my father was angry with me. He said, you'll never find a man better than that. He was so amazing. Well, here's the thing, Daddy. If that's the best that's out there, I don't want it. And here's another thing, Daddy. You are a part of the problem, Daddy, because you don't give a shit how I felt. You didn't ask how I felt. Do you think it's easy to divorce a man? Nobody chooses divorce, especially after all those years of marriage. I had to be in a lot of freaking pain. I tried really freaking hard with my open heart, with all of my love and all of my intellect and the therapy. I tried to get him to go to therapy. I tried as hard as I could to stay in that marriage. I could no longer stay with someone who was emotionally abusive by neglecting me. And any man who thinks I should have stayed with him, you know, I think is part of the problem in this society. Any man who thinks I should have stayed is abusive and careless and doesn't understand. So I'm hoping this video will help explain this. And ladies, if you're with a man who doesn't honor the relationship or care about the quality of the relationship, and you're in pain and you want to work on it and he doesn't, I'm here to tell you it's unlikely to ever change unless you're going to leave him. That's when they wake up. In my case, that wasn't even enough. And he was really in love with me. It wasn't that he wasn't in love with me. So even after, when I left, he cried for months. I thought he was dying. He looked horrible when I saw him. But, and this is the point I want to make. Despite the pain of being alone, and he's remarried, he doesn't like to be alone. Despite the pain of being alone and breaking up the family and all of that, he was willing to do that because that was more comfortable than working on himself, opening to his emotions, and being emotionally present. So you might be married to one like that. So how many years are you going to stick it out to see if he'll change for you? I waited 25 years. I thought, well, maybe he'll change after we're married. Maybe he'll change after we have kids. Nothing ever changed. Nothing ever changed. So don't wait. Don't wait. If you're unhappy I'm telling all of you, whether you're a man or a woman, if you're unhappy in your marriage or in your relationship, now, I'm assuming you're not an alcoholic or you're a cheater. I'm assuming that you're an honest person who is loving to their partner and desires a loving relationship. You go to your partner and say, I'm really unhappy. I want to go to therapy. And this person says, no, get the hell out. Get the hell out. Because those obstinate people, they're not going to change. They're not going to change. Let's take it from me. Let's take it from me. And I'm so much happier now. I would have stayed with him. I didn't want to leave him. I was in love with him. I left because I could no longer tolerate emotional abuse. And neglect is a form of emotional abuse. It's called covert abuse. So let's all wake up. And honor the relationships that we're in. And don't be with people who don't want to be friendly with you and care about how you feel and care about the relationship. That doesn't mean a relationship will never have conflict. It will. A relationship is harmony. When you first fall in love, everything is great, right? Then you get into the disillusionment phase. And that's when you have to learn to work on repair. So the repair part is important. That's why it's great to find someone that you're really into, because you're going to have to get really good at repair, right? Someone has to honor, value the people. My next partner, if I ever have one again, will have to really value a relationship and be willing to put in the effort. Else I don't want it. I'd rather be alone because I'm good right here. You know? Thank you for watching my video.